Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I was sitting in the sunshine with a glass of wine and Mojo, and he decided he wanted to go in, probably hungry, and then the sun went in, so I thought we'll have a walk round the garden. Now this is Roger's Garden and Bonsai channel, and under normal circumstances the two types of videos on this channel are easily distinguished. Well, this one isn't, because it's going to be both. We're just going to have a walk round the garden. The one thing that's very noticeable in the garden is the trees gone, and in the not too distant future we will be painting the fence and getting a coat on the shed and making this corner of the garden look smart. I still haven't decided what to do with that bench, but I've got a feeling it's going to get the black, the same as the staging. Even though it's not mine, it's a case of blow it. You know, if I leave it as it is, it will just rot. It needs a coat of something. Anyway, in the not too distant future, I'm taking part in a collaboration where I've got to sort of define what I think bonsai is all about and what is a bonsai tree. Well, that is one. There's no doubt about that. That could look 10 times better with 10 minutes work, but I'm not doing it now, because if I do it now I'll have to do it again in 6 weeks time. But if I leave it 2 or 3 weeks I'll only need to do it once, so that needs a bit of work, but when it's done, that's a bonsai. These are coming on, yarrow that is, which I thought I'd lost as they got planted at the wrong time and everything. Over here, this corner is starting to progress now. The rosemary is pushing on all its new growth, it's doing well. The lavender coming on nicely. This one, last year's spikes are looking a bit tatty. In fact, that plant would look a lot better if last year's spikes were just taken off and let this year's spikes progress, and there's even more to come, so that's doing okay. There's a couple of herbs down there. Yeah, so the bamboo in that corner is starting to push up shoots, so it's gaining height, which is what I want, because from the kitchen window that will fill the gap and stop me having to look at the shed. Down in this little bit here, it's getting cluttered now. We've got a bramble that's got to come out. There are some bluebells in there, and fritillaries, and primroses, and there's also ivy and stuff that needs pulling out, so this needs a clear out. That's still got to be done. It's not a big deal. I've got Hannah down this coming weekend. Between the two of us, I think we'll have a go round the garden. This ground cover is coming on quite nicely, some sort of saxifrage, well, that sort of thing anyway, but there's weeds all over the place in this area. Weeds seeded last year in this area before I could get to them, so this year I've got to stop them seeding and get rid of them, and then that corner should tidy up a bit. What did we do over here today? Well, what we did today was go over the base of things. So this bonsai here was covered in moss, yeah, and it was difficult to water because the media came right up to the edge of the pot. So I took some of the top off, got my wire brush and took the moss off, so the base of that tree now looks a lot better. So that was done. I pinched a bit of this, so this has just been tidied up a little bit. Won't be doing anything to that this year, that can just grow. What else? Sedum's looking good, geum's coming on, and I wish for the life of me I could remember what this was. It was from Carol. There was only one, and it nearly didn't make it. It came late in the year, but it's growing, so perhaps when it gets bigger and flowers we'll find out what it is and remember. Little bits of ground cover. That was thyme. It died, it never made it, but I have some thyme in pots that I will replace it with. Now over this side I can't remember what's in here, but whatever it is starting to grow. And we got the bonus of the cuckoo flower. So that was good. Over here, again, we got rid of the moss around the base, cleaned the trunk up, took all the wire off, and it looks like it's going to flower yet again, which is a nuisance. I'd rather it grew rather than flowered. This golden larch, false larch, it's not a true larch, again took all the moss off, cleaned up the moss around the base of the trunk, so that was just a tidy up really. When you've got a cat and you do a bit of gardening, sometimes you tread in things, and then you have to wash the sandals and put them in the sun to dry and put the old ones on. The emergency ones. Anyway, this is all coming on nicely here. The violets here are quite bushy. They're looking good. All the flowers are coming off the camellia. They look better on the ground than some of the ones on the bush. Now we've got a problem. That is pyracantha, or as I call it, spiny bush. Yeah, it's about to come into flower. The bees love it, and then it will have bright red berries that the birds love. Apart from the spines, it's quite a reasonable thing to have around. These geraniums are going to be in flower soon. They're bushing up nicely now, so that's good. But over here in the corner, there was a video about this. I had to get a man in to deal with this pyracantha. Look at the new growth. It's dying. And there's another one of these out the front, along the driveway, basically, and it's doing exactly the same thing. What is killing the pyracantha? This was a strong, healthy tree. Having been pruned, it shot out all over the place. Now that new growth's dying. If I lose that, it'll be a nuisance, because that was going to fill up that corner so that I don't have to look at next door's shed and next door's garden. Anyway, strange. So, pyracantha. What diseases affect that then? Some more ground cover clumping up here. Again here and here. Those are things that I thought had failed that are making it. Same here on that corner with an oak tree in the middle of it, and this corner with some weeds. And out of the thyme that I planted from Carol, it looks like this is the only one that is alive, but it's not exactly doing well. So that's everything over here. The rose is coming on nicely. Signs of buds, so that'll be in flower in the not too distant future. That's a strange rose. It virtually loses its leaves in the winter time. I've never known a rose do that. Over here, the oak and the alder, I think that's what it is, or aspen, I forget, alder I think, they're shooting up again. They just get trimmed as bushes. I don't want those getting out of hand. I don't want an oak tree in the garden. So they're just there for a bit of different foliage. I mean, the foliage on this is very attractive. So that's all they're there for, and they just get trimmed as bushes. Right, over here, the chives are about to bloom, and the rest of this in here is 2 or 3 different types of marjoram. So again, they will bloom. There'll be buds coming on those soon. And then we've got some sad news, because for some unknown reason, the Californian lilac has died. It's gone. Now, I deliberately cut this bush back to give that room to spread. Something's had that in the winter, whether it was the cold or the wet, but unfortunately that's gone. I don't think that will shoot out again, which is a shame. I mean, that had lovely sort of pom-pom blooms on that the bees loved. You know, it was absolutely covered in bees. I know what I mean. And then over here, everything that's been planted in here at the moment is pushing on quite nicely. The new giant ferns that came from Helen are sprouting up. The fact that they're growing and they haven't wilted means they've taken. And we are due some rain tomorrow, this evening, tonight, something like that. And then we've got another fern here that I thought I'd lost that is growing. That could be what I thought was the royal fern. If it is, I'll be over the moon, because I thought I'd lost them. I had 3, I think. The other 2 have certainly gone, and that one's appeared out of nowhere. So we may be lucky. And all of this stuff has recently been planted, so you've seen all this. The rose is coming on now. It's good. I've still got clearing up to do over here, and I've still got a few plants to put in. The thyme in those 4 pots, those are going to replace the ones that have died in the gravel beds, because they've got decent roots, and if I get them in this time of year they should get a chance to root. The London Pride, another type of saxifrage I think, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put that clump, and I've still got a few bits from Helen to plant. There's not much there, but I need decisions to decide where that actually goes. And then over here on the bonsai front, I took all the moss off of this one and cleaned it up, cleaned the base up, give it a quick trim. The same over here, this one, cleaned the moss off the bark, off the base, tidied it up, got the moss off the pot. And again, when I do my what do I think is a bonsai, that goes on the list. That's what I think of as a bonsai. As bonsai go, this has got to be worked on soon. The air layer up here, which is the roots are inside this polythene bag, has taken. I can see roots. It's also growing quite strongly. So in the not too distant future we will separate that and get that potted up. That will go in a flower pot, not a bonsai pot, to establish a really good root system. Then we'll worry about getting it and turning it into a bonsai at a later date. But it's got some nice shape. It will make a nice tree. Trident maple, for those who don't know. And what's left below it, obviously there's 3 trees here. 2 of them have been trunk chopped already and shooting out. This one's doing quite well, nice upright. The other one's got an upright that's growing at an angle, so the trunk may have to go over like that so that it forms that sort of shape. Long-term decisions, not now, in the future. And my little Satsuki azalea, or Satsuki as some people say, that's putting on lots of new growth, so that's doing okay. Whether we get flowers this year, who knows. And as I say, we've still got some clearing up, but I've got Hannah down at the weekend. We will have a clear up and a tidy up, get stuff round the front ready to go to the tip. We may even go to the tip and get rid of it all once and for all. Hannah's going to be quite surprised at what's going on here, because a lot's growing. You know, a lot of this stuff wasn't even showing last time she was here. But my ferns, I'm dead pleased with my ferns. If we just go over, that fern there I didn't plant. Now that could be a seedling of one of the others, I don't know. Could have blown in on the wind from another part. These came from Burnham's in orchid pots. And they went in into moss trays and grew. They then got put outside, survived the winter, so they're obviously hardy, and I planted a few in that little group. So that's another type. Then coming along here, we've got another one here which looks the same as this, just a smaller version, seedling. And then we've got this one here that's looking good, nice bright green colour. Then we've got another one down here that could possibly be the same sort. Quite a few of these are going to be this type, I think. But then we've got the Hart's Tongue ferns, which we've got one there, and the largest one coming on there. And then we've got this one. And it came from Carol, and I thought that was lost, that was dead, but it's growing. It's got very unusual shape to it. So that one, that's another type of fern. And then there's the big ferns from Helen, so that's another type. And then there's another type of fern coming up there. The fact that that is so far behind all of the others, I think it might be a different type. But I reckon we've got at least 6 different types of ferns here. And obviously the one that's doing really well there. So yeah, and in addition to that, we've got our first Aquilegia bloom. Yay! So there's going to, there's obviously going to be quite a few there. There's some more here to come out. I hope that the pale one has survived somewhere in here, even if it's only in seedlings. But there were 2 different types from Carol. There was a very pale coloured one, very delicate coloured one, and the dark purple one like this. So, and I do have seedlings lying around. And talking of ferns, there's another one coming up there. They're all over the place. And I don't care, because I really like ferns. I just like this green, this shape. And I like the way the fronds uncurl, disappear in the autumn, virtually gone for the winter, most of them. And then they all come back again. You get these lovely fronds unfurling. So there we go. I've done a bit of work on the bonsai today. Mostly tidying. I mean, this one had a bit of a trim and got all the moss off, exposed the base, the nabari, so that it shows. I was going to do this one and changed my mind because I ran out of steam. This one again, light trim, and got all the moss out of the way and tidied it up. So yeah, just been doing odd jobs really, and yeah, it's nice to be able to just come out here. It's a pity Mojo's not here, but he decided to go in and just have a sit down with a glass of wine and just look around the work that's been done last year and this year. A lot of work has been done, and it's getting to the point where I can come and sit here and not see a load of jobs left to do. That's what I was aiming at. There are still little jobs to do, but no big ones. All the big ones are done. And this is a lovely little sun trap here. I point the camera at the sun and burn all your eyes. But the sun comes over the roof there. So it comes from behind the tree, moves around there, goes behind that tree, but not this time of year, it's above it. So this bit here, this where the bench is in the sun for a lot of the day. From probably about 11 o'clock in the morning until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when the sun eventually drops down behind that tree, and then it's starting to get lower in the sky. But, yeah, I'm well pleased, and I do have to thank Hannah for the effort that she's put in, because a lot of the jobs I couldn't do on my own, things like getting up near the top of the steps to use the long tools, without somebody standing on the steps and without somebody to help clearing up the mess after you've done and used all those long tools, like the bamboo and things. She's done so much help here. It's been really good. And yeah, we're getting there. It's a nice place to be, and a nice place to finish that off, and the sun's gone in. And when the sun goes in, I tend to follow it. See you next time. Bye for now.